Well, Kev, 3 straight wins since that first round loss against Ontario, and you guys seem to be ramping it up out there.
Yeah, we're getting better. Got a little room for improvement. First game, we were very average, and I wasn't very good at all. So slowly getting better. Got some tough games coming up, so it'll be a good test tomorrow.
What do you take away from a game like that? Obviously, coming in, you know that your chances of winning are very good. What do you try to accomplish in a game like that?
Well, I think you just want to. As hard as it is, you want to make your shots. Regardless of who you're playing, and it's an easy game to get some bad habits, right? You start missing, start losing some confidence, and then tomorrow you're playing some teams that are playing a little better, and you do the same thing. You probably lose pretty quick. So that's kind of it. Try and maintain your confidence, really.
And speaking of tomorrow, obviously a big game against Wildcard tomorrow. I don't know how much of their games you've watched, but based on their record alone, they're playing well.
Yeah, they are. I haven't watched too much, actually, and I don't even know if they've been on a draw we've been on. I don't think they have. So obviously they're playing good. Looks like they all are. So we'll be in tough.
Do you change your game whatsoever? Do you ever change your game based on an opponent? And if so, what would that game plan be for tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't think we worry about it too much. We've played all these teams so many times that you kind of know what they're going to do all the time. So we got to get off to a better start, and if we do that, like I've always said, you got to slowly keep getting better at this event. We're doing a good job, but we'll see where we stand up tomorrow.
Well, you mentioned it, and I'll ask you about it. It's a funny game out there. Tonight you guys took it to the home team, ended their unbeaten record, and you mentioned, now you're thinking about the game that got away. But I guess you got to focus on the positives, and tonight was a big win for you guys.
Yeah, it was, actually. And we looked at the remaining games left in our schedule, and we knew we had to knock off either John or the wildcard team late in the week, and then hopefully play like we just did against the other two teams that we have left and mark a W on it. But yeah, you're right. It's bittersweet kind of winning that game because we were up 5-2 after 6 ends against Dunstone there the other day and let that one slip away. So that one kind of stings now.
But that says a lot about the team, too, that you come back strongly against a very good Ontario team as well. And you're in there. Fate is in your hands and still in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And then we talked about that actually quite a bit because it was kind of a rough one that night after that game. And we just said we can only go from here. And we felt like we played really well that game and deserved it. And why not carry that on the rest of the week?
Apart from the W tonight, I think the most important part of this game is that you closed it out too, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what those demons from the other day were still kind of floating around the back of your mind. And we played kind of a messy 10th end. We missed some easy ones there. And the flashback started coming back, and the negative stuff kept having to get pushed to the back. But it was nice to cap it off.
So I have zero doubt that you've got a scenario somewhere in your mind. Give up 4 in the first end against Jacobs, and this is in the bag.
Wow, yeah, it was. We lost to draw the button. We covered the pin, and he beat us by half a centimeter. And then you turn around and give up 4 in the first end. It was kind of a bit to swallow. And we made 7 shots in the first end. They just made 8, and we followed it up obviously with a great second end. And the 3 kind of got us back in the game, and we felt we can battle it out for 8 more ends, but you turn around the second end, give up a steal or get forced, and you're in for a long day. But wow, incredible. I think anybody that said yesterday was a boring game, they can take that one. So
and the story of yesterday's game was blank ends, and probably the story of today's game a blank end. And what was the thought process at taking that on?
Well, if we draw for 1, we lose 90 to 95% of the time, just based on the odds. And on this ice, as good as it is, and as good as Ryan Harnden was making those ticks, it's probably 95 to 100% of the time. So we felt we had to go for the blank and maintain the hammer. And worst case, if I get one of them out, maybe get a 3. We didn't like the chance of a steal, and fortunately I made it. I had a chance on my first one to make it and just missed, and I knew the second one I'd be awfully close, and fortunately I was real good.
What is the margin for error on that?
Less than an inch. I would say a half inch is probably the margin that we had, and that's being generous, I think, on a shot like that. With the amount of distance and with how thin I had to hit it, it was pretty precise, and it's hard to call too, because I thought at the end I might have hit it just a hair too thin, and then it came up, and we just hit it just thin enough. So it's tough to throw, it's tough to look at, it's tough to call, but fortunately we made it.
Best blank of your career?
Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head. You probably wouldn't believe me after watching the game yesterday, but we usually don't blank a lot of ends. So, I don't really have too many of those to deal with. But we needed to make it. The way Brad's and his team were playing, we had to give it a chance, and fortunately, it worked out.
Brendan, what are your thoughts about that game? Winning's a lot better than losing, but yeah, kidding aside, I mean, you guys showed some. I mean, it didn't go smoothly the back half of that game, but the guys showed some grit out there, I thought.
For sure, you get up early. It's tough to stay just emotionally into the game, especially as the clock keeps ticking. I thought we actually played a pretty good back half. They earned the deuce they got. I really liked my draw on the 10th end. We just got into a little bit of a sludgier path, and then in the extra I made sure I had plenty of ice, so we stayed in some good stuff.
And you had a couple good sweepers to help that along as well.
For sure, yeah. Full marks to them. If I would have missed it, it would have been 100% on me.
So at this stage in the event, unbeaten, I mean, did you have that goal in mind? Was it a priority, or are we in almost house money a little bit here?
Well, you're never going out there trying to lose. So for us, I just wanted to take it one game at a time. I'm not someone that looks at the schedule and says after Monday I'd like to be 3-1, after Wednesday I'd like to be 5-2. I don't do that. Just every game I come out here I try and do my absolute best, and hopefully we can come away with a win.
So from that perspective, have you met that goal so far?
For sure. I would say there have been 2 games where I've certainly played my absolute best, and there have been 2 games that I can work on a little bit. But it's always a good tell if you're winning those close games where you're maybe not bringing your A-plus game, you're bringing your B game, and that's still just enough. I think that's a good tell for how the week's going to go.